I'm drunk as fuck. I know if I get back in the car, I'm going to be fucked up again. So I look over at the Russian. I put my hand out and I just mumble and stutter with the bumbling drunk idiot that I am. I'm like, just give me my gun. I'm going to walk home from here. What's up, freaks? Welcome to episode number 2 of the Steve Eckert Show, the Steve Eckert Podcast. I'm Steve Eckert, and today I'm going to take you in a deep dive into my 5 foundational pillars of what makes me, and what I think will help you have a foundation of how you should live your life so you can operate to dominate in your mindset, your fitness, your family, and your business. These 5 pillars are what I literally judge and score myself on a daily basis, every single day. So we're going to take a deep dive into those 5 pillars, break them down, give you examples of them, some stories you are not going to want to miss. So that dominate in your mindset, your family, your fitness, your business, so you can stop being a little bitch, get your shit together, and start living life on your own fucking terms while you create your own personal freedom lifestyle. This is all about these 5 pillars are going to help you transform. It's going to help men and women to transform, to get from where you are to where you want to be, to where you need to be, to where you fucking deserve to be. And listen, we are talking about going from chaos to order in all areas of your life. And some people will hate, but most can relate because everyone needs an asshole like me in their life. So we're going to break this down. And I want to start this off by telling you how I judge my day, how I rate my day every day. Now, first off, before we even get into these 5 pillars, above that is how I think a man should really live. How a man should live his life is ask himself a few different questions each day. And one of the ways to live, one of the questions to ask yourself is, was I the type of man that my son would want to become? The second one is, was I the type of man that my daughter would want to marry? The third is, was I the type of man that my wife can respect and feel safe with? Like, that's how I start off thinking. The questions I ask myself when I'm rating my day, judging my day. Because you have to have reflection on your day. You have to give yourself feedback and score yourself. Because how the fuck else are you going to know if you're winning or losing at this game, on this journey? If you're headed in the right direction towards that ultimate ideal freedom lifestyle that we're talking about. We'll go deeper into that in future episodes. So that's the first questions I ask myself before we even get to these 5 pillars. And then I judge my day by footsteps. Because, when I was a kid, if you listen to the first episode, we talked a lot about my childhood and about my father and how I got the blueprint. I got the frameworks from my father. He taught me exactly what not to do in life. He taught me exactly how to not be as a husband, as a father, as a leader, as a fucking man, as a human. He showed me the blueprint. I just took what he did into the exact opposite, and boom, is success. So when I was a kid, you could judge my day on footsteps. When we would hear my father's car driving into the driveway with that busted out muffler and the old beat up nasty green station wagon with those wood panels that, if you remember those station wagons in the 80s, no muffler on it for years. So you could hear that motherfucker coming from like a half a mile away. We'd hear that muffler rattling down, and as it pulled into the driveway, the windows on the house are shaking. And the footsteps would be my footsteps running away from the door, knowing that my father's home because he's probably going to be drunk, probably going to be pissed off, probably going to start throwing some steel toe work boots around. So we'd run. It would be footsteps running away from the arrival of my father at home. That's how my day was judged. How fast were my footsteps away? So now as I flip the fucking script and flip the switch, as we're talking about here, I judge my day, my current day now. How fast are the footsteps of my kids, of my family running towards me when I'm coming home from a 3-day event or a trip that I have to do when we're finishing a class of the project, or I'm away on an OTD or an LTD, leadership and team development, corporate training. I'm out of town coaching up teams on leadership, teamwork, problem solving, communication. When I get back from those 3-day trips or from the project, the men's personal development program held here in Southern California, and I'm showing back up and I'm How fast are those footsteps running towards me? When my kids used to go to school before we started homeschooling them or home lifing them, I used to have an office in my old house that was upstairs. And I could see the driveway from my window in my office. And I could see when their car was pulling in when the Russian was bringing them home from school. And I could see how fast did they run into the house. And I could hear their footsteps, how fast did their feet go up the stairs to come to my office. Now, if it's a machine gun, like, now I know I'm on the right path. I know I'm living the fucking way I'm supposed to be living. But if those footsteps ever start going slower, boom, 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 I got to check myself and figure out where the fuck am I going wrong. And it's probably somewhere in one of these 5 areas that I'm about to break down, the 5 pillars of how I score my day. So, and then again, before that, there are a couple other questions I ask myself. Is in the beginning of the day, I ask myself, what do I need to do to make today fucking awesome? At the end of the day, I ask myself, did I get better and grow today? And then I'll write about it. It's not just a yes or no. There's no such thing as a yes or no, especially when you're reflecting, when you're journaling, when you're thinking. You're going fucking deeper. You need to always dig deeper. Go fucking deeper. Challenge yourself to go deeper. So these aren't just, even if it's a yes or no question, you say yes because, or no because, or yes and, or no and you go fucking deeper. So now that we have the footsteps out of the way, we have those questions out of the way, we know that you want to be the type of man that your son wants to become, the type of man your daughter wants to marry, the type of man your wife can respect and feel safe around. Let's dig into those 5 pillars. And ironically, the 5 pillars are decaf, D-E-C-A-F. Decaf, and you'd think that they would something that makes me who I am, something that is my stamp that I'm leaving on a room. Like, think about it. What is a stamp you want to leave to remember by? You leave a room, you're around strangers, you're at an event. These 5 pillars are the stamp I want to leave, the impact, the impression I want to leave that makes me me and makes me have my impact. And you'd think the acronym wouldn't be decaf. For me, you'd think it'd be like crack cocaine or something, but no, it's decaf. D-E-C-A-F. That's discipline, energy, confidence, action, and freak. And I'm going to break down those 5 pillars for you. Let's start with discipline. Discipline is just having structure, having control, having a strategy, having integrity, having mental toughness, which mental toughness to me is emotional discipline and emotional resiliency. To me, that's a little different. Emotional discipline is being able to stay centered and even and balanced. Now, emotional resiliency is when you get knocked off, either up or down off of that emotional discipline. Resiliency is your bounce back ability to get back to center, to get back to that emotional discipline. That all makes up mental toughness. That's all discipline. That is a fucking discipline. That is a daily discipline that needs to be worked on. And a muscle. Discipline is a muscle that has to be trained like any other muscle in the body. But also you have to have discipline in your fitness, discipline in your nutrition. This is what we're talking about. Now I want to give you an extreme level of discipline, extreme example of discipline. In my house, you can't wear your shoes in the house. You get in the house, take your shoes off. There was one time we were going for a hike when, I don't remember where we were going exactly. We were going for a hike and I had hiking boots on where you kind of have the laces that crisscross and they go around the buckles and you loop around and get them nice and cinched up, nice and tight. They go up above your ankle. And we're going for a hike. And I get into the car and I realize, fuck, I forgot something upstairs in my office. This is when the older house, my office was upstairs. So I run into the house. I'm running up the stairs with these hiking boots on. And my daughter runs in the house with me because she's got to bring another fucking stuffed animal because she brings like 17 things with her everywhere she goes. She has to carry a whole bunch of shit with her. They'll go out to the mail. They'll bring toys out with them. So she comes to the house to go grab something. She sees me going up the stairs with the shoes on. She's like, Daddy, shoes. I'm like, don't worry about it. We're going to be late. We're supposed to be meeting someone to go on this hike, I think. I don't remember the exact details, but I'm like, no, I got to run. We're going to be late. I got to run up there. It's right there. I could see it right in the doorway of my office. I could see the thing. I don't remember what it was. I forgot, whatever. I'm like, it's right there. She's like, Daddy, shoes. Because she knew that was a rule. She's like, I don't even know, 5 years old maybe at the time. Daddy, shoes. I'm like, fuck, this little demon child. And I got to undo the buckles of these shoes, take them all off, go upstairs, get the thing, come back down, rebuckle the shoes. All right, cool, whatever. We go on our way, we go do the hike. Guess what? About three and a half weeks later, the kids and the Russian, they're on the other side of the fucking globe. They're over in Russia or one of those Eastern Bloc areas where they're from. They're over there visiting some family over there in Eastern Europe. I'm home all alone. And you know what? We forget shit in the house all the time. You get in the car, you remember one last thing you should have brought with you. So I left something in the house. Again, don't remember what it was. Doesn't matter. That's not the point. I run back in the house. I have my shoes on. And this was just regular sneakers. I could have just slipped these sneakers off and slipped them back on. But I'm like, you know what? Who's going to know? There's no one here. I'm home alone. They're on the other side of the fucking planet. That little demon child can't stop me now. So I start running up the stairs with my shoes on. I'm halfway up the stairs with my shoes. I'm like, yeah, proud of myself. Like, yeah, now I don't have to take them off. Halfway up the stairs, it fucking clicks. The switch flips in my fucking head. I'm like, wow, what a fucking loser you are. I tell myself, what a fraud. How the fuck are you going to make a rule, set a rule, and enforce the rule, but not even fucking live it? Because listen, you got to set the standard, you have to live the standard, and you have to enforce the standard. You can't just set it and enforce it and not live it. So I take my shoes off, and now anytime that I'm thinking of even going up that flight of stairs, I'm thinking if I do this, even though no one's here, I'm no tree-hugging, woohoo hippie motherfucker, but I believe in the energy that you put out to the universe. I believe in that the butterfly effect. If I do that, that universe, listen, no one's going to know. The kids wouldn't know. The family wouldn't know. And people say, yeah, well, you would know. And that's not even good enough. Even me knowing is not good enough. We know how you could be as a human, as you could be as a man. You'll make excuses. You'll validate why you do shit. When you do something fucked up, it's situational. When someone does something fucked up, it's an attack on them and their character. But it's okay when you do it. We know we can convince ourselves of that and feel fine with it. So it doesn't even matter that I would know I went up the stairs with the shoes on. The universe will fucking know. The universe will know. The universe will send signals to my kids, to my daughter. So anytime I even have a thought of doing something I tell my kids not to do, like wear the shoes up the stairs, even if I'm all alone, even if no one will ever find out, that is what true discipline is. Who the fuck are you when you're by yourself? That's real motherfucking discipline. So I picture, if I'm thinking about that, my daughter being like this 16-year-old, like crackhead, homeless, drug addict. Like if I go up those stairs, that's the direction it's going to lead her in her life. Like think about that fucking visual. You think I'm ever going to go up the stairs with my fucking shoes on ever again in my life? Fuck no. I'll chop my damn feet off before I let that shit happen. So that's a type of discipline, the first pillar. And I consider that like my strong leg, the right leg. The foundational area is discipline. If you have your discipline, you are good. That's what you need to be thinking about. And having that type of discipline, and if you've watched show of number 1, you saw how I said I was a ghost when I was a kid. This discipline I have, it carries over into other areas of life. Like I could be alone all day at home and not really care because I spent my whole childhood alone. I spent my entire childhood, years and decades just alone with no friends, just no real positive male role model. So I just had to do shit on my own and figure it out. So now I could be alone in a hotel room for a day or a weekend. I could start a fucking business. I am focused like a motherfucker because I have that discipline. It's just like another day. It's flipping the switch, taking suffering and turning it into a superpower. That's what we're talking about here. So that is a discipline. That's a foundation. That's a strong. That's the right leg. So the other foundational pillar is energy. DE, discipline and energy. Shit, if I have my discipline and my energy, discipline's the right leg, energy's the left leg, that is a foundation. I have nothing to worry about when I have my discipline and energy. Those things, two things combined, are fucking make you bulletproof, make you impenetrable, make you unfucking stoppable. We're talking about energy. We're talking about putting effort, maximum effort, infectious enthusiasm, mental, emotional energy and endurance and strength and durability, but also passion. Fucking passion for just life and just waking yourself and other people up, providing energy not just for yourself but for other people, not relying on external sources to provide you energy, finding your own fucking internal energy. That's what we're talking about, energy, where it's infectious. When my son was about 8 years old, someone asked if we wanted to go on a bike ride. They said we're going to ride from Orange County, California, all the way to San Diego, about 130 miles or 120 miles, whatever it is. And there's a bunch of project graduates. They're like, you want to do it? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. They're like, and I'm like, actually, put me in for 2. Tyson's going to do it with me. They're like, your son? Like, isn't he 8 years old or 9 years old? I'm like, yeah, but he'll do it. He'll be fine. Like, you don't want to ask? I'm like, no, he'll be fine. Like, all right, if you say so. So I'm talking to Tyson about, I'm like, hey, we're going on this thing. I told him you and me are going to do it. You're cool with that, right? He's like, yeah, of course. Let's do it. And for some reason in the conversation, I guess the way I worded it, I don't remember why, but he assumed, this was on a Thursday, he assumed this 130-mile bike ride was coming up that Saturday. He's like, oh, but we can't do it because we have this and this coming up. He thought this bike ride was 2 days later. 2 fucking days later, and he was willing to do it. Without, no questions asked, no training. He was willing to fucking do it. And turns out it was like 6 or 8 weeks away. It was like a couple months away because all these other dudes needed time to train for it. They needed to go get their little $300 aerodynamic freaking helmets and all their little tighty nut hugger frog eye shorts and spandex and all this other shit. He was willing to go in 2 days when the longest bike ride he did up to that point was 30 miles. He was willing to go to 120 or 130 miles on 2 days' notice. That's what energy will do for you. That's also leads to the confidence we're going to get to in a second, but that's what discipline and energy will lead to, that you're ready for anything. If you have your discipline and your energy, you're ready for anything. He was ready to jump and do this. So we go do this bike ride, and we had to leave hours ahead of everyone else because we were driving on just Walmart specials, just some shitty mountain bikes on the road, on the street, the Walmart special. The only training or preparation that we did a couple longer rides in between that because then we had 2 months. We did like a 50 mile, I think, or 40 or 30, I don't know, something mile ride before that, just to get conditioned. But the only maintenance we did on our Walmart bikes, the Walmart special, was we took some Remington gun oil and we sprayed our chains with it. We're like, yeah, now we did some high maintenance and our bikes are ready for the long run. And that's what we did for training. So we did this 130 mile bike ride and we finished it. You know what we did the next day? We went and lifted fucking weights. The very next morning, I think it was like Martin Luther King weekend or something. It was Monday was off school. So this was a Sunday. We literally were in the gym training together because he didn't have school. This was back before we yanked him out of the dictatorship of school and the Nazism of school. And Martin Luther King was the next day, so they had off school. We worked out the next day because we weren't sore. We finished like that. Wasn't even that hard. So you know what we did that night, on that Monday night? We made a list of challenges, physical challenges we wanted to do. All these different 24-hour challenges. This bike ride only took like 12 or 13 hours or something, maybe 14 hours. We wanted some real challenges. We made a list of all these different 24-hour challenges that we wanted to do. We just actually finished one 2 weeks ago. It was a 24-hour PFT, physical fitness test, where we ran a mile. We did 100 push-ups, 100 squat thrusts, 100 crawl-outs, and repeated that nonstop as many times as we can get in 24 hours with zero sleep, or some people with minimum sleep. And we've also done 24 hours of push-ups, and these are also fundraisers for charity. We did 24 hours of push-ups. When we made that list, my daughter or son, one of them came up with, they wanted to bench press a whale. I said, how the hell are we going to figure out how to bench press a whale? So we figured, all right, we're going to do a weightlifting challenge. We did 24 hours of weightlifting where you just kept a tally, you kept a ledger of all the weights you lifted. So if you lifted 100 pounds for 10 reps, that was 1,000 pounds. And you keep adding it up and see if you had enough to weightlift a whale. I think I got like 450 something thousand pounds. I don't really remember. I think Tyson got like 240 something thousand pounds. And we weightlifted a whale. We did 24 hours of weightlifting. Literally, you do a set, you take a break. Another set, take a break. Another set, take a break. And we've done a 24-hour hike, 24-hour bike ride. And then after like 5 or 6 challenges, the little free kids, they got to choose the next challenge. These little shits chose a 24-hour video game challenge. We sat our fat asses glued to the fucking couch for 24 hours. And our goal was to get 1 million kills in all the games we played, and we didn't even come fucking close. We got, I don't know, 10 or 50,000. I don't remember the number. Nowhere near close, but we did every time the screen was loading or we died, we had to do a set of an exercise. We did that most of the night, probably not the entire night. I think towards the end, we started skipping that shit, but 24-hour video game challenge. We have so many other challenges coming up, but this is the type of energy you need to have because it's going to train you and condition you for when life kicks you in the nuts and you need that energy to survive in the real world. It's going to be like no big deal. Like we were watching this show the other day, some apocalypse end of the world movie. There was this dad with these bitch tits. He's so soft and out of shape. He's with his 2 kids. I think the mother died or something in the apocalypse or whatever. So it was a father with the 2 kids. And the car breaks down. And they're 11 or 14 miles from home or something like that. And they're searching for a place to spend the night because the father's saying, oh, it's 11 miles away. We'll never be able to make it. Me and my kids, we looked at each other like, motherfucker, 11 miles, that's an average Tuesday afternoon. That's a fucking warm-up to our workout. Like, that's the type of energy we're talking about. So it can help you in real life or help you in emergencies or help you in these crazy situations. That's the energy. Now, think about having that level of discipline, that level of energy. That is a superpower. That's what makes hard shit easy and fun. Imagine you could turn hard shit that other people freak out about and it's a joke to you. It's a fucking superpower. We're taking these pillars and turning them into superpowers. We're taking suffering into a superpower. So that discipline and energy, the foundation, the right leg, the left leg, leads to the right arm, which is the confidence. If you have discipline and energy, it will lead to confidence. And in confidence, we're saying in the attitude, the way you show up, in being confident because you're prepared, because you put in the sets and reps. You've got the practice in. You're confident and you have belief in your ability to figure it out. FIO, motherfucker. That's what we're talking about confidence. You're also confident in your communication, the way you act, the way you talk, the way you show up, the way you move, your body language just shows fucking confidence. Do you know, back in thousands of years ago, the Roman architects, when they're building these massive stone structures, the architect of these structures wouldn't touch a single stone. But these massive things you see now, the ruins of it built, the architect would build it. And to prove to the king or the emperor or whatever that these structures were safe, he would stand underneath these massive hundreds of feet structures, whatever, however big they were, of stone. He'd stand underneath them and have all the workers and the builders shake the stones while he's standing underneath it. And he'd be the only one underneath, so it would just crush him and put him into a fucking Roman pancake. That's confidence. He was confident in his architectural skills, and he knew he built that shit, his engineering skills, that it would last. So that's how he would show the confidence to the emperor. Imagine having that level of confidence in yourself, in your work, and that's the people he delegated to. He had his people build that shit. He didn't touch a motherfucking stone, and he's willing to stand under it with pure confidence. That's the kind of confidence we're talking about. So I want to take you back to that bike ride in San Diego real quick when we're talking about confidence. So there's a portion of that 130 miles where you have to go 9 miles on the I-5 freeway near San Diego, near Oceanside, near Camp Pendleton Marine Corps Base, because they don't want you cutting through the Marine Corps Base. You're allowed, it's legal to ride your bike on the highway for 9 miles. 9 fucking miles, and I'm talking about a highway, like 6-7 lanes with 18-wheelers zipping by at like 80, 90, 100 miles an hour, like flying crazy traffic, one of the busiest, craziest, wildest parts of the freeway. And you're allowed to ride your bike on the shoulder. So we get to this portion on this bike ride going to San Diego, and I see the sign, and it says, no pedestrians on the highway. I'm like, oh, we can't go on here. So I call up the dude that coordinated this trip. I'm like, it says no pedestrians. He's like, no, I did the research. No pedestrians, they mean you can't be on foot. That they made it legal for you to be on a bike. You're not considered a pedestrian if you're on a bike on the shoulder, so you're allowed to do it. And I'm looking at the highway, and I got my shitting pants on. I'm like, hell no, I ain't riding that fucking freeway. I look on Google Maps. I find this alternate route. It would have to go all the way around one portion of Camp Pendleton Marine Corps Base. It was going to add like an extra 22 miles, an additional 22 on top of the 130 we're already doing. So I tell Tyson, I'm like, look, that's dangerous out there. We're going to fucking die. Look at those trucks. They are whizzing by. On the shoulder of the highway, there's like broken tires and glass and garbage and trash and probably a homeless fucking encampment. Who knows what else we're going to be having to ride through on the shoulder of this ridiculous, dangerous highway. I'm like, hell no, we shouldn't do it. I'm like, Tyson, we should go around. He's like, an extra 22 miles? He's like, no, let's just do the highway. We'll be fine. I'm like, holy shit, are you kidding? This little fucking 8-year-old, I'm the one that's fucking scared to do it. And this 8-year-old has got the confidence. I'm like, all right, copy that. Let's fucking do it. We did it. We almost died about 50 times, but we made it, and we're here to tell the fucking story. But that's the level of confidence we're talking about. That I didn't even have it myself, but knowing that I'm showing it and it's instilling in your fucking people, that's the level of confidence we're talking about. And then another time with Tyson, we're at Machine Guns Vegas. We have the project. We have these meetups. We're at Machine Guns Vegas, where you get to shoot all these ridiculous guns. And we show up there, and it's with the men of the project, the graduates. It's our get together. And I bring Tyson with me. I'm like, there's no way I can go to Machine Guns Vegas and not bring him. He will be pissed. He will never forgive me. So he shows up with me to Machine Guns Vegas. And we get there. And I tell you, it's like McDonald's. It's like all the different guns on the board, on the wall with different numbers next to them. And you just tell them what guns you want to shoot, and you shoot them. So she sees the kid there. He's this little whatever, 8 years old probably at the time. This is a couple of years ago now. He's maybe 9 years old, 8 or 9 years old. She gets puts her hands on her knees. She's like, so sweetie, what gun do you want to shoot? She's like, we have this Henry Repeater 22 lever action rifle, or this little 22 revolver you can shoot. He's like, I'll shoot either the number 22, the Desert Eagle, or the 46, the 50 caliber Barrett sniper rifle. She's like, oh, ho, ho, and she slaps him on the shoulder. She's like, that's funny. That's so cute. No, really, do you want to shoot the Henry Repeater rifle or the little 22 revolver, like you see the cowboys and Indians on TV shooting? He's like, I'll shoot the number 22, the Desert Eagle, or the 46, 47, whatever the fuck the number was, the Barrett 50 caliber sniper rifle. She looks at me. I'm like, he's serious. It's like, all right, which one is it? She's like, well, the Desert Eagle, something they couldn't do it. So they get the sniper rifle out. 50 caliber sniper rifle. I've never even shot a 50 caliber sniper rifle in my life. In the Marine Corps, we shot 50 cal, but it was a machine gun. It's like a double grip handle with a little button. It has like an 80-pound tripod, easy as hell. It's like a game. But a sniper rifle, I'm like, she brings this fucking thing out. This thing is taller than me. It's like 30 fucking pounds probably. I don't even know how heavy. Heavy as hell. The magazine is like a foot long as a ruler. And she pulls it out. This thing is massive. I'm like, holy shit, this thing's gonna knock me on my fucking ass. I don't even know if I want to even shoot this thing. She pulls this gun out, she puts it up on the counter, stands it up on the counter, and I'm standing there, and Tyson's next to me. And she's like, all right, who's up first? I'm sitting there, tapping my foot, twiddling my thumb, looking at him in the corner of my eye. I'm like, I ain't fucking going to shoot that thing. That thing's gonna knock me on my I'm a fucking skinny ugly white boy from New York. That's just gonna knock me on my ass. Second, she says, who's gonna go first? This little bastard says, I will, and he jumps up. They got to put up some fucking like wood block or some phone books or some shit for him to stand on to even see over the ledge. They put this 50 caliber sniper rifle up. He fucking shoots it. The blowback is so much wind. It's fucking awesome. We got the video of it. So cool. And I'm like, oh, all right, good thing. I fucking watched him do it, so now I'm going to go do it because I was like, good. If it knocks him on his ass, I'm not even going nowhere near that damn thing. I don't want any part of it. But that's the type of confidence I'm fucking talking about. If you have the discipline and energy, you have the confidence to step up and jump on a highway for 9 fucking miles. To go shoot some ridiculous gun before a grown-ass man is hesitating and even not even sure if he should shoot it or not. That's what we're talking about confidence. The superpower of that is you take impossible and convert impossible. You flip the motherfucking switch on impossible, and impossible becomes done. What looks like impossible, and you start living a life that motherfuckers think you're lying about. That's what I tell the kids. Create a life. Create a life you don't need a vacation from. Create a life that people think you're lying about. That's what we're fucking talking about. That is the confidence we're talking about. So now if you have the discipline and energy, it gives you confidence to take fucking action, to move, to create movement, have a bias for movement, to push and pressure yourself and push and pressure other people around you, to motivate yourself and motivate other people around you, to get off your motherfucking ass, to walk the walk, to talk with your fucking feet, to stop being a little bitch and make shit happen. That's what we're talking about action. So if you watched episode number 1, I talked a little about my father. He was a drinker, an alcoholic, a disgusting, horrible alcoholic. And I was never a big drinker, but since I eat fairly healthy and I would only drink once in a while, when I drink, it would fuck me up. I'm talking about fucked up, hangover for days, and I would also drink way too much. So when I had my gyms in New York, we were having this 6-week challenge party. And at this 6-week challenge party, this was like the big events of the year. We'd have a couple hundred people that would show up to these parties. At the end of a challenge, we'd announce all the winners. We'd have sponsors and booths and massive event. And this would lead to literally hundreds of thousands of dollars of future business because of the attention in this party and the people that were coming in and the new members we'd get from it. And the attention all around the town, all the sponsors we have, and all their audiences would come in there. Massive event we'd make shitloads of money off of, and it was the big. We needed these. We relied on these for business. It just happened that this one 6-week challenge party, we had this one weasel trainer working there that gave us 2 weeks notice that it just so happened his 2 weeks ended. So his last day of training was on the day of this 6-week challenge party. And now I knew this motherfucker was going to try and hijack this party and make it all about him and make it like a going away party and completely fuck up the real purpose of this, to celebrate these people who lost freaking tons of weight on this challenge. And also it would just fuck up the vibe and flow that we needed to push the business forward. Like that's what these challenges were all about. And I knew it would happen. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to go overboard. I'm going to be so overboard. I'm just going to get fucking drunk as hell. I literally did a shot with probably 300 different people there. I just drank my fucking ass off my own business, acting like a drunk fool. I didn't do anything too crazy or too overboard or too offensive or anything like that, but just a drunk fool in my own business. Like how fucking stupid. What a loser. Seriously. So anyway, the party's over. It's a success. We get the outcome that we're looking for, the impact we're looking for. It's over. We hop in the car. We're driving home. We literally are 10 seconds outside of the driveway, the parking lot. And the kids are there because they come to all the parties. We take them with all this shit, with all the things we do with the business. It's like midnight or 1 a.m. It's pretty late. We're pulled out of the parking lot of the gym. 10 seconds later, not even to the first like corner. And I say, pull over, pull over. I tell the Russian to pull over. I jump out of the car and I puke all over the ground, puking my guts out and wipe my face. I see my kids looking at me. They didn't fall asleep yet because we just took off. They're looking at me, kind of their heads tilted, squinting their eyes. I get back in the car. We start driving again. Another like 10 seconds. We're only going, I don't even know, not even 30 miles an hour yet. I literally open the door while we're driving and start stepping out to go puke again. And while I'm opening it, I don't open it in time that the Russian has to slam on the brakes. And I don't remember if I jumped out of the car or stepped out of the car while it was still moving, but I'm puking while I'm trying to get out of the car, but it's not in time. And I had a brand new Ford F-150 pickup truck at the time. I puked all over the inside of the door, in the containers, all over the floor, all over the carpets, all over my leg, down my shoe, all on the ground, green bile and gunk and vomit all over the place. I'm drunk as fuck. I know if I get back in the car, I'm going to be fucked up again. So I look over at the Russian, I put my hand out, and I just mumble and stutter with the bumbling drunk idiot that I am. I'm like, just give me my gun. I'm going to walk home from here. She says, get in the car, you fucking idiot. So obviously I'm not going to walk. It was like a 15, 20 minute drive. So I would have been walking for who knows how long. And I think I'm going to walk all drunk with my freaking gun in my hand. So she's like, get in the car, you fucking idiot. It's like, as I'm getting in the car, the kids are still awake because I'm talking 20 seconds only we've been driving. This is happening. And they have that same tilted head and squinty eyes. And I think Tyson says it. He's like, Daddy, are you drunk? They were shocked that they could see their dad acting like such a fool, puking on himself, asking to take a gun and walk home, jumping out of a moving car. There's puke and vomit smelling up the whole fucking place. And they're seeing it from their father, their hero. And just like going up those stairs with my shoes on, I stop and I think in my head, I'm like, what a fucking loser. What a loser. So the next night we're at dinner and we eat dinner together 7 days a week. If I'm not traveling, unless we have the project, if I'm at home, we eat dinner 7 days a week together. We're at dinner. I say, you know what? I'm not going to drink for a year. I'm going to go 365 days, but not a single drink. We fast forward a year. I made it. We're at dinner again because we eat dinner 7 days a week together. We're at dinner and Tyson, or the kids together, we're having a conversation like, so you made it 365 days. You made it the year without drinking. What are you going to do? How are you going to celebrate? I said, you know what? Hell yeah, I made it. I made it pretty easily. You know what? I think we're going to have a glass of wine tonight to celebrate with dinner. That's how we're going to celebrate. The kids tilt their head again, that same tilted head, squinty eye look. And that same look with looking at me like I'm just a fucking idiot. They're like, they couldn't comprehend. How are you going to celebrate with the thing that you purposely didn't do for a year because it wasn't good for you, it wasn't serving you, but you're going to celebrate with the thing that you weren't doing for a year? They couldn't wrap their fucking head around it. I'm like, all right, you little shit. You want to challenge me on my discipline, motherfucker? I will never have a sip of alcohol the rest of my motherfucking life. How about that, sucker? And guess what? Haven't had a drink since and never will. There could be a fucking $1 billion in cash right in front of me to take one sip of alcohol and I would not fucking take it. The only rule we made on that is I did talk to the kids about it. If one time they wanted to get drunk together, they said they would allow it one day for us to be drunk together, but then they wouldn't be able to say that they never had a drink in their life. So we'll see what happens. We'll keep you updated. But I will never have a drink as long as I live. That's what's called taking action on what you say, doing what you say, backing up your fucking word. That's the massive amounts of action. And if you see that action balled up from the discipline, the energy, the confidence allows you to take action, which leads to the top, the tip of the spear, the head, the focus, the who the fuck you are, the F of the decaf, the freak. Now, what is the freak? The freak means being unique, being yourself, living life on your own terms, marching to the beat of your own motherfucking drum, not giving a fuck what anyone that doesn't matter thinks about you. Now, I didn't say don't give a fuck what anyone thinks about you, just anyone that doesn't matter. You absolutely should give a shit what the people that do matter think about you. Being a freak means being polarizing. But it means doing all this and being yourself and living life on your own terms and marching to be of your own drum, but still with humility and with courage. That's what we're talking about. So here comes the story of being a freak. This is the reminder. This is the reason why we wear two different color shoes. My daughter, when she was, I think, like way back, like 2 years old, she had to wear two different shoes. And I'm not talking just two different color. They were two different shoes. It'd be like one of my wife's like hooker high heel shoes, and one of her, and then the other foot, she'd have like this unicorn pink purple rainbow slipper. And she'd be hobbling out of the house like a fucking gimp. And I'm like, you can't go out of the house like that. You look like an idiot. People are gonna think there's something wrong with you. She's like, I don't care. This is how I wanna wear it. I said, at least let me take you to the store and get two of the same shoe, so you're not hobbling around and gimping around. She's like, all right, let's do it. But I'm like, but people are still going to think you look stupid and it's dumb. She's like, I don't care. That's what I like. That's the way I want to do it. And it clicked. Flipped the switch again in my head. This is what this show is all about, flipping the fucking switch. Flipped the switch in my head and said, you know what? Copy that shit. Since that day, that must be like 7 years ago, the entire family only wears two different color shoes. So every day before we step foot out the house, every day before I go to a speaking event, or every day before I'm coaching a client, or every day before we start the project, or before I'm in front of an audience about to speak on stage, and I have my two different color shoes and I'm lacing them up and I'm on a knee lacing up, or before I leave the house, or before I come on here just to talk to you on this show, I see the two different color shoes. It's a reminder to me to live life on my own terms, to live that day what's going to make me fucking happy, not to conform to the bullshit that's out there in the world. Do what's going to make me happy and my people, to be myself, to be my freak fucking self. It reminds me to take my freak flag, stamp that motherfucker in the ground, let that freak flag wave high in the fucking sky for the whole world to see, to attract like-minded freaks that I could vibe with, and to repel the people that I don't want to be on this fucking journey with me in life. That's what the freak is. And that's the tip of the spear. That's the head. That's what it's all about. That's what I fucking stand for. That's the stamp I want to leave on every single person that I come across, on every room I enter, in every situation and person and stranger. Decaf: discipline, energy, confidence, action, and freak. Be your freak motherfucking self. These are the 5 pillars. I promise you, if you live by them, follow them, and then I score myself on all 5 of these every night, it will change your freaking life. And you need to have it at these levels that I'm giving you, the examples and these stories. This is what it's all about. This is what operating to dominate is all about. This is what no excuses is all about. And this is what the Steve Eckert show is all about. It's about how to flip the switch and have a no excuses, badass mindset, just like this. So you can destroy the fucking obstacles and the roadblocks that are slowing or preventing your success in your mindset, your family, your fitness, and your business. So you could stop being a little bitch, get your shit together, and start living life on your own fucking terms and create this personal, ideal, freak freedom lifestyle that you always wanted to live, that you want to live, that you need to live, that you fucking deserve to live. That's what it's all about. Follow these 5 principles, score yourself on them every day. Let me know how it goes, and make sure if this message is helping you, if I'm doing my job right, and this is lighting a fire under your ass to stop being a little bitch, to live with discipline, energy, confidence, action, and being your freak self and living life and creating that ultimate freak freedom lifestyle that you want to have. If this is helping you do that, make sure you like this video, subscribe it, send a comment down below. Tell me how you're going to be scoring yourself. What are your 5 words? If they're a little bit different, that's fine. You could use these 5, make up your own 5. Let me know in the comments down below what they are. Subscribe this, share this with someone who needs to fucking hear this message. Maybe not someone that wants to hear it, but someone that fucking needs to hear it. This has been episode number 2 of the Steve Eckert Show, the Steve Eckert Podcast. I will see you next time. And in case no one told you yet today, you are fucking awesome. No excuses.